the YouTube one. Welcome, 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 man, YouTube world. So if you see me looking down on TikTok or you see me looking up on YouTube, it is because I am looking into different cameras. Below, I have my wonderful tablet, and above, I have my telephone. And on my telephone, I am streaming from TikTok, and from my tablet, I am streaming from YouTube. So, how was everybody week? I know it's a new week, but how was your last week? Was your last week good? My last week was itself. I am a wonderful 42. And 42 as a lady, as a woman, as a healthy woman with still eggs. It's a very interesting time. It's a very interesting time. But I've experienced times that have felt similar to this. And the one that I could compare it to when it comes to just emotions, just the raw emotions themselves, is when I was a teenager. It was like coming into puberty. That's what it feels like. But it is like multiplied time like 100 and probably a zillion. So I go through a lot of different fluctuations, just within this body, this physical body of mine. And I really don't know how to fix it. They're not like horrible where it's like, oh, I'm so angry. No, I'm the opposite of angry. I'm the opposite of it. I'm very happy, but I'm also very energetic. I'm trying to look for the right way to say it. I have a lot of energy. I think energetic is the proper word for it. I'm very energetic, and I am in a period of time where I have met someone that I like a lot. I like him a lot. He likes me a lot. And but we're still getting to know each other, and we haven't gotten to know each other beyond the mental and the direct surface. There's still space. There's still spaces for us to explore and to learn and discover about each other, and I'm very eager for that discovery and for those explorations. However, there are parameters, man-made parameters, I must say, but important parameters that, because I sincerely, authentically give a crap about this individual outside of their physical, but also take an account to their physical, I respect those barriers, and I know those barriers are not permanent, but they annoy the holy crap out of me, because I'm just like, yeah, I'm 42, and I'm not, even though I carry this title temporarily that creates a very gray area, I'm still who I am. Like, what the hell? I carry other titles too, so what do I gotta do? I just have to complete what I started, and then I can move on to other things. That's what I gotta do. So that's where I am, people. I'm also binge watching because I started school. My new semester starts next week, and I've been taking this time to just kind of prepare myself for that, because it's going to be requiring much of my energy. But good thing is that I have a lot to give, right? I got somewhere to channel this energy. I'm going to be learning about fossils. As you can see, I have a brain for science, so to speak, and science is a subject that I'm interested in, but I'm not going to go deep into science. Psychology is more of the topic that is more of a real, hits my soul a bit. When I was in there, I took one psychology class. I was like, yeah, this is the field I want to dive deeper in, and it seemed like full circle almost, because It reminded me of my great auntie, and she always used to predict that I would become a head schwanker. Those were her words, schwanker, not shrink, but head schwanker. And the reason why she said predicted that I would become a head schwanker is because her words, okay, she was a little country, that's how she talked, was because with my doll babies, I would dismantle their heads because I wanted to see what was inside of their heads from a baby. That's what I would do. And now that I have grown into a mature lady, I still want to know what the hell is in people's heads, what they be thinking before they do the shit that they do. And do they think? Because I'm a thinker and I enjoy thinking. And I'm like, do other people think too? And if they do, how far do they think actually? Which is why here at the SupaTea Podcast Show, you might catch some authenticity, but you ain't gonna catch no he say, she say about anything that's going on in the media. You're just gonna hear my authentic thoughts, authentic feelings, and I really feel that health is three-tiered, meaning that it's not just your physical that you need to be mindful of and take care of, but you need to take care of your mentality, and you also need to take care of your spirit, your soul. So whatever that is for you, people are parts of churches and things of that, and that's your will to do. I'm not here to convert anybody into anything. I have studied in those schools of thought. That's what I call churches. I call churches schools of thought because they are schools of thought. In my perception, it's just a way to ignite, something that's already innate inside of you. And once it's ignited, then you really should be in the driver's seat of how to direct it, whether it's staying in the church, because there are benefits of being part of a community, because that's what a church is. It's a community, right? Or are you going to go and dive deeper and go outside and, evolve your spirituality? That's all at your decision and your choice to make, and whatever you decide to do for yourself is up to you. But I know what I have decided to do for myself, and I have decided to be free with my spirituality. Yes, I have spiritual practices that I practice daily. However, they do evolve, and as they evolve, I allow them to evolve, and I grow and I learn, and I'm always discovering, and I'm always learning, and I'm always growing. And that is the trajectory that I am on. Why am I on this trajectory of learning and growing and growing and learning? It is what it is, it doesn't take away from any other part of me. I still breathe oxygen. I still drink water. I still have vitamins. I still am a woman who ovulates and has a menstruation every freaking month on time, so those parts of me are still, they're relevant. I am a whole woman, and I like to navigate my own self. Now I do realize when it comes to forming a union, especially a sacred union, then self-navigation is still relevant, but now you have like a partner, and they have their own self that they're navigating. You have your own self, but because you have decided, both of you have decided to navigate life together, now you get to have conversations about the navigations that you decide to take yourself upon. Your physical body, your mental body, your career, all that stuff. You get to, kind of like have somebody to bounce something off of, which is kind of cool. But anyway, with all that said, in the first 10, 15 minutes of the SupaTea Podcast Show, let's dive into the seat of the soul for this Soulful Sunday and get right into Chapter 7, Intention. Not all forms are physical. A thought, for example, is a form. What is a thought formed out of? I gotta laugh. I told you guys this last week, okay? When I do this episode, I literally, this book is here with this microphone. I don't carry it around, okay? I don't pick it up. I don't even look at it. I come in every Sunday and sit right here at 3 o'clock and dive into this book without even knowing what the chapter is going to talk about. So, what I find humorous is when Spirit pours through me first and then pours through this book. And I'm like, do you see the connection? Is it a coincidence? I was just talking about energy. Is it a coincidence? Is it a coincidence? I just said you got to take care of your mind. You got to take care of your body. And you got to take care of your spirit. Is that a coincidence? No, absolutely not. And let me be specific before I go back into this book. When I say take care of your mind, what are you watching? What are you watching for entertainment? What are you listening to for entertainment? Because all of that is going into your mind. Those lyrics, those words, those pictures are going into your mind. Food for thought. Oh, philosophy of order. You're right on time. I am diving into Seat of the Soul, and I'm on chapter 7, and you're probably going to have to catch the replay on YouTube to catch the first 15 minutes or so of what I was chatting about, but I'm going to go back into the book. A thought is energy or light that has been shaped by consciousness. No form exists without consciousness. There is light, and there is the shaping of light by consciousness. This is creation. Energy continually pours through you, entering at the top of your head and descending downward through your body. You are not a static system. Welcome, Goddess Egypt. You are a dynamic being of light that at each moment informs the energy that flows through you. You do this with each thought and each intention. The light that flows through your system is universal energy. It is the light of the universe. You give that light form. What you feel, what you think, how you behave, what you value, how you live your life reflects the way that you are shaping the light that is flowing through you. They are the thought forms, the feeling forms, and the action forms that you have given to light. They reflect the configuration of your personality, your space-time being. You change the way that you shape the light, which is flowing through you by changing your consciousness. You do this, for example, when you challenge a negative pattern, such as anger, and consciously choose to replace it with compassion, or when you challenge impatience and consciously choose to understand and appreciate the needs of others. This creates different forms of thought, feeling, and action. It changes your experience. Every experience and every change in your experience reflects an intention. An intention is not only a desire, it is the use of your will. If you do not like the relationship that you have with your husband or with your wife, for example, then you would like it to be, and you would like it to be different. That desire alone will not change your relationship. If you truly desire to change your relationship, that change begins with the intention to change it. How it will change depends upon the intention that you set. If you intend that your relationship with your husband or your wife becomes harmonious and loving, that intention will open you to new perceptions. It will allow you to see the love that your husband or wife expresses for you in his or her own way. If that is the case, it will allow you to see the absence of that love, if that is the case. It can clearly, from that perspective, what is necessary to change your relationship. Oh, hold up. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm reading too fast here. Let's bring it back. Let's bring it back to the top of the paragraph. If you intend that your relationship with your husband or your wife become harmonious and loving, That intention will open you to new perceptions. It will allow you to see the love that your husband or wife expresses for you in his or her own way, if that is the case. It will allow you to see the absence of that love, if that is the case. It will reorient you towards harmony and love so that you can see clearly from that perspective what is necessary to change your relationship and if that is achievable. If you intend to end your relationship, that ending begins with the intention to end. This intention will create in you a restlessness. You will feel less and less fulfilled with your mate. You will feel an openness to others in a way that you have not felt before. Your higher self has begun the search for another partner. When that partner appears, you will be drawn to him or her. And if you accept that partner, which also is an intention, a new path will open for you. If you have conflicting intentions, you will be torn because both dynamics will be set in motion and oppose each other. If you are not aware of all of your intentions, the strongest one will win. You may have a conscious intention to improve your marriage, for example, and simultaneously an unconscious intention to end it. If the unconscious intention to end your marriage is stronger than the conscious intention to improve it, the dynamic of restlessness, lack of fulfillment, etc., eventually will overcome the conscious intention to become loving and harmonious within your marriage. In the end, your marriage will terminate. If the conscious intention to transform your marriage is stronger than the unconscious intention to end it, and if your husband or your wife is essentially supportive, you will succeed. But the dynamic of opposing intentions within you will produce confusions and anguishes, perhaps for both of you, as you become open to new perceptions of love and harmony within your marriage and simultaneously experience restlessness, lack of fulfillment, and openness to other partners. This is the experience of a splintered personality. A splintered personality struggles with itself. The values, perceptions, and behaviors of a splintered personality are not integrated. A splintered personality is not conscious of all the parts of itself. A splintered personality is frightened. It fears aspects of itself that threatens what it seeks and what it has attained. A splintered personality experiences the circumstances within its life as more powerful than itself. A splintered personality that has a conscious intention to improve its marriage and a stronger unconscious intention to end it, for example, will feel after the collapse of its marriage that despite its efforts, despite even its best efforts, things did not work out as it intended. This is not so. They worked out exactly as it intended. But because she or he held conflicting intentions, much turbulence, so to speak, was created in the flow of the light through that person. If conflicting intentions are nearly balanced, and if a personality is not willing or able to acknowledge that an aspect or aspects of herself or himself stand opposed to her or his conscious intention, severe stress and emotional pain result. These can cause states of schizophrenia and physical illness. In less severe cases, the anguish can be just as painful. A splintered personality is a personality in need of healing. As a personality becomes conscious and integrated, it heals those parts of its soul that incarnated in order to be healed. The light that flows through a whole personality is focused into a single clear being. Its intentions are powerful and effective. It becomes a laser, a phase coherent beam of light, a beam in which every wave precisely reinforces each other. A whole personality is not like a laser. A laser is like a whole personality. Lasers are the reflection and physical reality of an energy dynamic that until very recently has not been central to the human experience. The development of the laser in the middle part of this century reflects within the physical area the physical arena, a dynamic that is central to what our species is evolving into. Hey, Jackie or Jacqueline. We are evolving into a species of whole individuals, individuals who are aware of their nature as beings of light, who shape their light consciously, wisely, and with compassion. Therefore, the physical phenomenon of phase coherent light, light that does not struggle with itself, so to speak, has come into being. It's a new phenomenon to the human experience, and it reflects the new energy dynamic of the whole human. The achievements of science, in other words, do not reflect the laboratory capabilities of individuals or nations, but the spiritual capabilities of our species. Intentions affect more than relationships. Intentions set into motion processes that affect every aspect of your life. If you desire to change your job, for example, that change begins with the intention to change. As the intention to leave your present job emerges into your consciousness, you begin to open yourself to the possibility of working somewhere else or doing something else. You begin to feel less and less at home in what you are doing. Your higher self has begun the search for your new job. When the opportunity appears, you are ready to accept it. You may require additional time to step into the new situation consciously to make it your own, because it is human nature to resist change. But if you accept it, your intention will manifest physically. It will assume a physical form. Decisions such as where to work and whom to partner with and where to live are not the only type of decisions that you make, nor are they the decisions that have the most influence upon your life. At each instant, you make decisions in the form of your attitudes about the universe, about other people, and about yourself. You make these decisions continually, and your experiences at each moment are created by them. You are a decision making being. A single choice to challenge your anger and replace it with understanding does not immediately change these attitudes, but it brings them through your feelings onto awareness. And as you make the decisions of your life consciously and responsibly and wisely, your attitudes come to reflect your decisions. Eventually, the deepest decision making processes within you, those that shape from moment to moment the light that flows through you, become aligned with what you choose consciously, just as they are aligned before you choose awareness with what you choose unconsciously. You create your reality with your intentions. How does this happen? Intentions shape light. They set light into motion. Each intention, anger, greed, jealousy, compassion, understanding, sets energy into motion, sets patterns of light into motion. Physical matter is the densest or heaviest level of light. Physical reality is not a dead and empty stage on which life evolves. Every physical form, as well as every non-physical form, is light that has been shaped by consciousness. There is not one planet in the universe that does not have an active level of consciousness. Although it may not be what we recognize as consciousness, physical reality and the organisms and the forms within physical reality are systems of light. Within systems of light. And this light is the same light as the light of your soul. Each of these systems of light is shaped by consciousness. The physical reality of the earth school is shaped by the decisions of those who are in it. What is the relationship between physical reality and the choices that you make in your life? Reality is a multi layered creation. No two people have the same reality. The first layer of your reality is your personal reality. This is your personal life, your personal sphere of influence. Here, your decisions are most effective and are felt directly. By choosing to feel kindness instead of coldness, you change the frequency of your consciousness. And this changes your experiences within your personal reality. You can choose to be selfish or you can choose to be giving. You can choose to look upon yourself and others brutally or with compassion, to serve yourself or to serve others and the earth. Each of these decisions shapes the light that flows through you and creates the reality within you. This reality spills over into the realities of those around you. The second layer of your reality is your family. When individual human souls come together, they form a group energy field, a merger of soul energy in a group. Therefore, the decisions that you make within your personal reality, such as the decision to be giving or to be selfish, or the decision to be angry or to be understanding, contribute to the shaping of the reality that you share with your family. The same is true for each member of your family. Your father's dependability or drunkenness, for example, contributes to this level of your reality, as does your mother's timidness or assertiveness, and your sister's jealousy or support, etc. As you move into this layer of your reality, you move into an atmosphere that includes others within your life. While it is also personal, you are beginning to move outward from the intimacy of your personal reality. The next layer of your reality is your school or the place that you work. This level of reality is also a co creation, and it is more impersonal than the reality that you share with your family. Not all of the perceptions of your not all of the perceptions that are central to your personal reality are central to this reality. For example, you may have discovered that when you pray, you get answers. But this perception is not necessary to the functioning of your university or your business. It may not be appropriate to share this perception with the person sitting beside you in the lecture hall or with the receptionist in the front office. The next layer of your reality includes those people that you come into contact with in the course of your living, such as the people from whom you buy your airline tickets, the people at the grocery store, the bus drivers, the merchants in your town, the beliefs that you hold as a participant in this and other more impersonal layers of your reality also are not all as intimate and personal as the beliefs that you hold in your personal reality. And these arenas, you share your personal beliefs that you feel are more aligned with the larger general atmosphere of beliefs upon our planet. In other words, as you move outward from your personal reality, you move outward in the bands of energy that are shared by more and more individuals with whom you have a great deal in common vibrationally. Most individuals, for example, understand city and urban area. Most individuals understand Europe and United States. These are shared collective perceptions, but they are not shared as widely as the perception of water and air, which are universal perceptions upon our planet. Not all the people on our planet know that there is a place called Europe. Europe is a majority perception upon our planet. It's not a universal perception such as air. Consciously receiving answers to prayers is not a majority perception upon our planet. Therefore, you are free to tell the people at the grocery store that you hear answers when you pray, but you may decide not to share that perception for your own sense of safety, because you realize that their consciousness may not be able to accept that. The next layer of your reality is your town or city. The next is your state or area of the country. And the next is your culture or nation. A nation is an aspect of the personality of Gaia, the earth soul, which itself is developing its personality and soulhood. The group dynamic that is the United States is a personality aspect of Gaia, as is the group dynamic that is Canada, and the group dynamic that is Greenland, and the group dynamic that is each nation. The individual human souls that participate in the evolution of these aspects of Gaia form these group energy dynamics, and at the same time, their own developments are served by the karmic energy properties of these nations. Consider the United States, for example, as simply one unit of energy that is evolving with a particular consciousness. The individual souls that pass through this collective consciousness expand it, create actions, create thought forms, create causes and effects, and that is how it accumulates karma. The relationship of these souls to their nation is like the cells to a body. Your consciousness affects every cell in your body, and every cell in your body affects your consciousness. There is mutuality. Each individual in the collective consciousness that is called the United States can be thought of as a cell in that nation in dialogue. The Earth School and the Earth are not the same. The Earth is a planet. With or without humanity, it would be. The purpose of the planet is double, so to speak. It has its own evolution. And part of its evolution includes the housing of a species called human. The Earth has agreed to interact with the human species and to allow the development of this species to merge with its own consciousness. Part of this agreement can be understood as an agreement that matter would be co-created upon this planet with the consciousness of the Earth. Since the Earth now has creative resonance, it responds to their energy. Our species and the Earth form a mutual response system. This happens in the same way that nature exists and is also a co-creative adventure. As you continue to move outward through the layers of your reality, they become more and more impersonal. The next layer of your reality is your race. If you are Black, your soul, has chosen to participate in the evolution of what it is to be a Black human. Your experiences of exhilaration, anger, wisdom, or kindness help to shape this impersonal energy dynamic. The next layer is your sex. If you are a female, you have chosen to participate in the evolution of femininity within the human species. If you look upon the structure as an inverted pyramid with your personal reality at the bottom and each layer of your reality above your personal reality as more inclusive and more impersonal, the uppermost layer, the broadest and most impersonal layer, is humanity, the experience of being human. As an individual, you participate in group experiences simultaneously with being an individual, just as you can simultaneously be a man, a father, and a husband, or a woman, a wife, and a mother. These experiences are all simultaneous. Some of them are collective, and some of them are individual. You can have an individual experience as a father, for example, and an occupation as a baseball player with a team. There, you participate in a group energy system. You contribute to the creation and evolution of each of the collective consciousness in which you participate. If a person is French, he or she contributes to the evolution of the group consciousness that is called French. If a person is Catholic, he or she contributes to the group consciousness that is called Catholic. In other words, the dynamic of creating reality operates at more than one level. While you are here, you participate in the creation of both personal reality and impersonal reality, just as you can participate in the creation of a building that will remain long after you are gone. You participate in the evolution of group energy dynamics that will remain after you are gone. Creating a building is a group effort. Several souls participate in the construction of that reality. It is built with group energy and not just with individual energy. Therefore, it has an existence that is independent of each of the individuals that built it. In the same way, you are participating in the evolution of the United States. Yet, when you die, this place called United States will continue. You are connected in layers and through layers to your experience. I'm going to pause right there. I don't know if you are familiar with Merkaba, or I believe it's called or Metatron's Cube. I definitely encourage you to Google what that is, or even the Kabbalah tree. If you look at the Kabbalah tree, you'll see the circles. It's a series of circles, and they have lines that connect them. And this is basically what this is breaking down, this particular chapter. This particular chapter is showing you that how your intentions and how your thoughts are powerful, and how they create your personal reality, but they also influence the reality around you. And it's giving you the degrees of how your thoughts, how your feelings, how your emotions are connected to others as well, and how others are connected to you. It explains how things work, because a lot of people don't know how things work. They just listen to people tell them, well, God says you should do this, and you just do that to be good. And life is way more complex than that. God is an energy. It is an energy that is within you. That's called, I like to call it, divinity. You can call it whatever you want to call it. I like to call it divinity. We all have divinity inside of us. Therefore, we all have a part of God inside of us, inside of these biomechanical machines that we have. We have God inside of us. So knowing that we have that encourages us and inspires us to being the best that we can be. And to take care of ourselves. Keep all parts of ourselves healthy. What are we keeping healthy, people? I'm going to be saying this throughout. We're keeping our minds healthy. We're keeping our bodies healthy. And we're keeping our spirits and souls healthy. Okay? Health is really wealth. That's where the wealth is really at. It's in your health. And by keeping all of those things healthy, you wealthy, no matter what. Okay? And let me remind you also, money is a great tool. Just like this microphone. It's a tool. It's a tool, baby. Just like this little paintbrush thingy I got over here. It's a tool. You know, I take it, I dip it in the paint. But it is not the only tool that's necessary. It's just a tool. Money is just a tool. But you are who you are. Your mind, your spirit, your body. Those are things that a tool may be used to support the health of. But the tool does not bring it the health. The tool just supports it, or can support it. But what else can support it? Food for thought. Let's get back into the book. You contribute to the creation and evolution of each of the collective consciousness in which you participate, and you have a choice on what you participate in and what you don't participate in. Okay? You got a choice, babe. You can choose, okay? Just want to remind you. Just got to remind you that you can choose, okay? All right now. If a person is French, He or she contributes to the evolution of the group consciousness that is called French. That's if they choose to. Okay? If a person chooses to be Catholic, he or she contributes to the group consciousness that is called Catholic. In other words, the dynamic of creating reality operates at more than one level. That is what the Kabbalah tree basically shows you, and the Metatron cube shows you in picture form and in the form of art. The connectedness of everything, the different levels of things. While you are here, you participate in the creation of both physical reality. You participate in both personal reality and impersonal reality, just as you can participate in the creation of a building that will remain long after you are gone. You participate in the evolution of group energy dynamics that will remain after you are gone. Creating a building is a group effort. Several souls participate in the construction of that reality. It is built with group energy. Yes, I'm rereading this page here because it needs to be read again. And not that just of individual energy. Therefore, it has an existence that is independent of each of the individuals that built it. In the same way, you are participating in the evolution of the United States. Yet, when you die, this place called United States will continue. You are connected in layers and through layers to your experience. As you advance from the individual experience of your own life into the larger experience of the family of which you are a part of, and beyond, you move into dynamics of group energy. The group dynamic of the family is part of the larger group dynamic of the community. Hence why the family units have been attacked in the past. But I'm so grateful and so honored to see family units reuniting and young people seeing the importance when they decide to become parents, that both parents are active in the young people's lives. The group dynamic of the family is part of the larger group dynamic of the community, which is part of the larger group dynamic of the nation. Group dynamics advance through the system, and the entire system, the entire inverted pyramid, is the soul of the human species. So this is how we do it, people. You fix yourself personally, which meaning you heal yourself personally, and then you work together with other healed people to heal the family unit. Then that family unit contributes to the healing and the growth of the community. Then that healed, healthy community contributes to the nation. Then that healthy, healed nation contributes to the healthy, healed of humanity. There's the blueprint, people. It ain't complicated. You just got to do the work. It starts with you. The soul of the human species is sometimes called the collective unconsciousness, but it's not that. It is the soul of humankind. Your soul is a miniature of the soul of the human species. It is a micro of a macro. It has as much individual energy and power. As part of the micro, you have all the power of the macro calibrated to an individual form of certain frequencies. You form collective energies that help the whole evolve. Although they are not themselves souls and do not have souls, in between the micro and macro are the various experiences afforded the individual human soul learning within a group, participating in group evolution, such as the evolution of your country, the evolution of your religion, and the individual personal experiences that comprise the human experience. As you move down from the top layer of the inverted pyramid to the layer beneath it, your experiences reduce from being a part of the whole of human evolution to being a part of evolution of male or female energy. And the next layer down, you become part of the evolution of Caucasian or Negro or Mongoloid. And the next layer down, you are part of the evolution of the energy field of the United States. And the next layer down, you are part of the evolution of an individual whose experiences will include an aspect that participates in the evolution of military, and aspect that participates in the evolution of teacher, an aspect that participates in the evolution of father, and so on. Layer by layer, that is what reality of each individual looks like. From the top layer, which is all of humanity, all humanists, each layer downward locates you more individually and more specifically. The more impersonal consciousness, the human species, is the first layer. This consciousness that takes on personal attributes. It is personal that you are part of the United States. It is personal that you are a white male part of the United States or a brown female part. These are parts of your personal experience and characteristics that serve the evolution of the whole. A university, by analogy, is a group dynamic. Each of the schools of a university, undergraduate, business, medicine, law, is also a group energy system, a less inclusive collective of group energy of souls in evolution. What happens within the schools affect the whole of the university itself. Then, within a particular school, there is the experience of a certain class, which is more personal. And after that, the experience of the student himself or herself, which is intimately personal. The reality of each individual is created by his or her intentions and the intentions of others. What we think of is what we think of as a physical reality that we share is an intermingling or a formation, a massive overlay of appropriate realities. It is a fluid, massive consciousness in which each of us exists independently of each other, and yet coexists interdependently of each other, with each other rather. What we as a species and as individuals are now becoming aware of is the effect of consciousness on this process. So how this author explains uh, creation and intention is inverting a pyramid. That means turning it upside down. And I have pyramids in here, but I would have to get up to get one to show you. And I mean, I could get up to get one. You know, I'm gonna scooch over. You know, scooch on over. I would be right back. I'm gonna scooch over and explain it to you because I think visuals is just more better. Scooch on over. Scooch on over. And I'll be right back. But that's the end of that chapter. All right. So, this is a pyramid. Inverted means it's turned upside down. So, what this author was explaining was coming from this part, from the wide part, and coming down. But why start here? Well, you could start here. This is basically, this point would represent where you start at, where your consciousness starts at, where your intention starts at. But your intention doesn't just stay here. Your intention goes through all of these other levels and it joins with the intentions of others. And together you create reality. But first it starts with you, each individual. So it would be helpful. And this is going to be a paradoxical statement, but it'll be helpful for people to all get healthy, staying unique, but all get healthy so that we can create a healthy world together. Because we're co-creating anyway. The results that we see is from co-creation of individuals. They're not just magically happening. They're not just happening by the will of one person. They're happening by the wills and the intentions of many people. So if we are intending health and we are intending that individually, collectively, we have no choice but to create a healthy world, a healthy nation, a healthy family, a healthy environment. So that's what I'm here for, people. That's why I have chosen to incarnate at this time, to choose that and intend that for myself, and to do that for my family, and to do that for my community, and to keep on doing that as my influence grows. So I encourage you all to do the same in your own way. Don't do it how I do it. Do it how you do it. But come from the space of love. Come from the space of a healed consciousness, a healed person, a person that has forgiven yourself, forgiven others. Come from that space. And let's see, how freaking awesome can humanity really, really get? It's pretty awesome now. It's pretty awesome. But can we get it more awesome? I think we can. Thank you for tuning in to the SupaTea Podcast Show. If you missed any parts of this broadcast on, you can always catch the replay. The replays are all on YouTube at the SupaTea Podcast Show. I do welcome guests and I do welcome conversation, but some people are just not ready to dive as deep as I dive, and that's okay. There's no forcing. I'm not forcing, I'm not even forcing you to be here when I'm here, Catch it when you catch it. But thank you for your time that you do invest. This is part of my contribution to the collective, me sharing my good intentions with the collective. And I don't expect to see results right away, but I do know that good results are inevitable because intentions are energy, and energy is energy. It always, what's the word I'm looking for? Energy always is. So my intentions are going to commingle with other people's intentions on making things better. And even if a person may not be comfortable listening to what I'm talking about or doesn't connect or resonate with them, it's okay. For who it's supposed to resonate with, it will resonate with. I am sitting in the hood, okay? Pouring out these good old vibrations and energies, all right? So it don't matter where you are, it don't matter who you are, it matters what your intentions are and where you're going. So when you choose to come from a space of compassion and a space of love in all that you do, and you choose to acknowledge and heal the parts of yourself that needs to be healing and restored back into wholeness and not fragmented, as that chapter I just read discussed, then life feels a whole lot better. And you have a say-so in your life with your intentions and with your thoughts. So remember, health is wealth. And health is multidimensional. It's not just, I'm working out, so I'm healthy. Work out my physical body, so I'm healthy. But you're putting all this garbage into your mind. No, 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 no. Detox your mind. Just like you detox these bodies, detox your mind. Take some time out and sit into nature. Take some time out and don't watch the ratchet stuff that seems to be entertaining, which is really putting in demeaning images of people from your own culture. Yeah, take that, detox your mind, detox your spirit, as well as detox your body. Keep all healthy. Keep your body healthy, keep your mental healthy, and keep your spirit and your soul healthy. That's what we about over here at the SupaTea Podcast Show. People be like, what's your tea about? Matcha. Matcha tea is a concentrated green tea. It may be strong, but it's packed with antioxidants. And you know what antioxidants do, right? It fights those cancer cells, baby. It fights that inflammation. So we about health holistically over here at the SupaTea Podcast Show. Thank you for tuning in. Catch me next Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Sharp, here live on TikTok and here live on YouTube. And if you miss any part on TikTok, you can catch all of the replays on YouTube at the SupaTea Podcast Show. Bye now.